right, let me slide on out the way. Okay. We are getting ready to get started here momentarily, Dodd. I got to find my space in my notes from yesterday. And I believe that we stopped on the insula and we're on the dentate gyrus. All right. We begin every live with 3 cleansing breaths. And what we are doing is we are regulating the emotions and giving the brain notification, going to the hippocampus bank of neurons. We're going to talk to the dentate gyrus and say, hey, I need some neurons so I can learn and make some synaptic connections. Good morning. How we begin every live is we do 3 deep cleansing breaths. I count you in 3, 2, 1. You inhale, you exhale, you inhale, you exhale. You inhale, you exhale. That's the process. So let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm coming back in frame because YouTube sometimes works on the flip and sometimes it doesn't. So this is the way it's going to be. Good morning. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. I decided that we're just going to finish up the brain functions. So today is Function Friday. We're going to cover the back half of the information that we did not cover yesterday. As always, do you have your liquid gold, baby? Do you have your H2O, your agua, your Vasa, baby? Yes. Your brain is 75% water and it needs hydration. If you're on the West Coast like myself and you just woke up, you got dehydrated simply by going to sleep and waking up. If you tell yourself I'm thirsty, you are already 2% dehydrated. So just sitting here listening to me and responding will dehydrate you. As we can see, I've already been drinking my water this morning. I've had my tea for my throat. And now I'm having my coffee. And for the rest of the day, I will be drinking water. Sparkling flat or, sparkling or flat. There we go. Now, we started yesterday and we talked about all of the brain regions that we use the most. So we reviewed the prefrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate cortex, the hippocampus, the amygdala, and the insula. That's what we talked about yesterday. So if you want that information, go watch yesterday's live. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be discussing the dentate gyrus, the executive functions where we have the working memory, inhibition control, and cognitive flexibility, as well as the basal ganglia. In addition to that, my perspective on the importance of knowing how the brain functions. So, for a hand clap of praise, what does the dentate gyrus do? What is the function of it? And it's an expanded version, but what do you recall it being responsible for? And this is going to be too hot, so I'm going to drink this instead. And remember, you are ... thinking emoji, brain emoji. Sean does the comment bubbles. Let me know that you are thinking and responding. What is the purpose of the dentate gyrus? And there is actually more than one, but we're not going to go into that. It produces neurons. Is that a question or answer, Jared? The one I have been confused. Okay, Jared, is that a question or answer? Which one is it? And good morning, Regina. No, you got to be sure. Stand on it. 10 toes down. Cincinnati, baby. Cincy in the house. Which one is it? A question or an answer? I don't know. Okay. Y'all. Oh my gosh. Regina. Now, come on. You are a fellow educator. Oh, man. Final answer. Okay. All right. So it does a myriad of things, but yes, it helps with new neurons and brain cells. Okay, great. You got to just, and I know it's like, oh, damn it. You're supposed to tell us, Dr. Donna, and then we tell you, and I got to check. And Nola got mad because we already had 2 quizzes this week. So no quiz for the rest of the week. But hey, next week, anything is open. So the dentate gyrus is a small but powerful. Yeah, but I was distracted. I understand, Regina. I will wait until you get back to Orlando. All bets are off until you show back up to the Sunshine State and you get your recuperation. I'll give you 72 hours after you return from Orlando before I start quizzing you again. Yes, ma'am. That's your recoup time. Okay. So the dentate gyrus is small but powerful part of the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's new memory gatekeeper. So it literally is in the temporal lobe and the limbic system inside of the hippocampus. Got it? Okay. And in simple terms, it creates brand new memories, especially of experiences and places. And so what happens is every time Nola has an appointment, my dentate gyrus is having new experiences and places that we have to go to. Even if we go back to the same customer, which we did yesterday for 2 of the 3 appointments, they had different stuff. And one client moved, stayed in the same apartment building, but moved to a different apartment. So that was a new experience as well. So that's what's happening. The dentate gyrus is helping that take place. It also tells similar memories apart. So today's coffee shop visit doesn't get confused with yesterday's coffee shop visit. So even if you have a job and you go to the job every single day, it's going to say, this is Friday, that was Thursday. And so those are not the same days. And then it grows the new brain cells. That's where the magic happens. So one of the few spots in the brain where new neurons can form throughout life. That is where we used to think that the brain was fixed. You couldn't learn. If you were stupid, you was going to be stupid. If you was smart, you was going to be smart. And you could just gather off of the dentate trees that happen, and the learning and the axons and the somas and all that. Don't need to get into that. But it was like, no, you can branch off, but you can't create new neurons. This is how many you got. You got 7. You got 50 million. That's how it is. But that's not the case anymore. So that's where the new cell growth happens at. That's why I say go to the dentate gyrus and the hippocampus bank of neurons so you can learn new things. So picture the dentate gyrus as the sorting gate and the fresh ink of your memory system. So it lets new experiences in, it keeps them organized, and it helps your brain stay flexible and ready to learn. So anything new that you actually come in contact with, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, we have an intruder that I need to get out and stomp on them like an ant and discard them so that their carcass can be there for others to see. Okay. So in essence, it's storing all these new experiences, but it's also the fresh ink pen, and it's creating new memories and new experiences as well. So that's where all the freshness happens at. So now it's there, and it's taking things and it's making a distinction between what is happening and what new happened versus what is old. And it's also allowing you to take in this new information that you are experiencing so that you can grow new neurons and new neural pathways to create that fire and wire, which is Hebb's law. So Nola, is that clearer to you or unclear to you what the purpose of it actually is? So it's creating brand new memories. It's telling similar memories apart. That's why we went to the other client's house. We were like, wait a minute, I know we weren't on this floor. This floor is different with a door. He said, yes, we moved. He does need a pearl necklace. Well, pretty girls wear 20 pearls. So part of the reason why I don't put the pearl necklace on it is because of that. So yes. And I'm trying to keep it as neutral as possible. So it's ambiguous. It's like Pat off of Saturday Night Live. No one ever knew what Pat's gender was. That was the thing. Oh, yes. Okay. So it grows new brain cells. Nola's laughing. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so I have yeah. Okay. And I get it because I say I clutch my real leader pearls. I understand why you're saying that. So that is the dentate gyrus. That is the whole purpose of it. So now you understand what's happening. And so it's new memories. It's telling similar memories apart. When we went to the client's house, we were like, I thought you were on a higher floor. Yes, we were. But here's the reason why we moved and all of this. And so that happens. And we've had people who have moved, people who've gotten married, got divorced, all those type of things. And so upsize, downsize, right size, whatever. And that just tells us. So it's distinct memories. Okay, it does 3 things, Nola. It's going to create new memories, distinguishing. So it's creating new memories for you. So every time we go to an appointment, that we haven't gone to before, that's a new memory. Next, it's going to distinguish between two things that are similar. So it's going to say today is Friday, not Thursday. That's why you always say, what day is it? Because for you, the dentate gyrus is not distinguishing between the two different days. So it's telling similar things apart. So it's not confusing what happened yesterday with what is happening today. And then it's where your learning takes place. So every time you learn how to do something new, it's because the dentate gyrus gave you new neurons to have that experience. Is that clear? Brand new memories, distinguishing between things that appear to be similar, and then creating new neurons for you to learn. So is everybody clear? Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why you say, wait a minute. I'll ask her about what is the appointment. What's today? Today is Wednesday. What appointments do we have? Okay. Good morning, Sean. So, right. So you need to strengthen your dentate gyrus. You got the map of the whole damn Clark County, but you can't remember. Yes, Regina got it. So you can't remember the similarness. So now you know where it's happening at. Why you can't distinguish the difference is because it's happening in the dentate gyrus, which is in the hippocampus, which is responsible for your memory. Remember, hippocampus is the memory library. All right. Is that you saying something? Now clear. I don't know why they did that to you, Jared. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I thought that was Nola saying stuff. So hopefully y'all can see this. Okay. All right. Next up on the list is the executive function. This is where the magic happens. I'm telling you, I use that crib statement for everything but where they say the magic happens at. I'm a magician. We got all the magicians on the strip here. So here is the executive function of the brain. And it is your control center. If you ever watch Star Trek or whatever, they're in the room, this is the control center, the CEO, the command center of the brain is the executive function. It is located in the prefrontal cortex. And so it is like your brain's control center. It's a set of skills that helps you manage yourself and get things done. I'm going to say that one more time. It is a set of skills that helps you manage yourself and get things done. So where are you going to manage yourself at? Where will you manage yourself to get things done? Where is that located? Executive function. So if you are attempting to manage, you yourself personally, you're going to be using your executive function. Notice what word I did not say. I did not say amygdala. I said executive function is where you use to manage yourself and get things done in the executive function in the prefrontal cortex. So if you are mismanaging yourself, where are you located? You are located in the temporal lobe and the limbic system with Amy and Lala. So if you find yourself not managing yourself, you are not in your prefrontal cortex in the executive function of your brain. You are in your limbic system and you are probably stressed out and you are probably releasing cortisol to the prefrontal cortex, which is where you actually manage yourself and get things done. See how that works? You see how that works? Isn't that interesting concept? So if you are not managing yourself and you are not getting things done, you have emotional dysregulation. That's what's taking place for you. It's real simple. Am I managing myself or am I losing my damn mind? Okay, cool. Then that means Amy and Lala are in charge. Let's flip the script. So in simple terms, this is what it helps you do. Plan what to do and how to do it. Plan what to do. You wake up in the morning, you say, this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to get all these things done today, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to have a peaceful existence. Executive function. So the prefrontal cortex and the executive function is located in the prefrontal cortex. Yes. And so it helps you stay focused on the task. Stay focused is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So whatever it is that you already plan to do, when you start doing it and you are using the executive function, you are going to stay focused on the task at hand. The main thing becomes the main thing. And it's going to help you remember instructions. Nola has to put things together all day long. And so she remembers how to use her drill. She remembers how to use all of her wrenches, socket wrenches, and all these other things. It helps you to remember the instructions to get the things done that you need to do every day. And it also controls your impulses. So you don't act without thinking. So that means if you did something and didn't think and acted, where are you not at? You are not in the executive function of your brain. You are not using your prefrontal cortex. You are over in your limbic system, popping off with Amy and Lala. And it also adjusts when things change or when you make a mistake. So that's what cognitive flexibility does. I'm getting ready to get into that. So if something, you had a to-do list, you had a plan, and something changes, when you stay in the executive function, you use that cognitive flexibility. You go, oh, okay. Oh, so that's not it. Noah gets a manufacturing defect. She gets a manual that doesn't have, it's an old manual with a new product, or vice versa. Pre-drill holes are gone. No longer is she running around like a chicken with her head cut off or any of that. She literally is saying, okay, here's what I'm getting ready to do to mitigate this situation and ensure that this thing is put together properly. So you can think of the executive functions as the brain's air traffic controller. It keeps track of all the incoming thoughts, emotions, and actions, and it makes sure that they don't crash into each other so you can move smoothly towards your goals. So if anybody's ever seen a movie with the air traffic control people, they got planes landing, taking off, coming in, having issues and everything else, and they are 100% in control. They're not like, oh my God, you landed on the railway, what is it, landing zone 12. You should have been on 11. They just redirect the planes. Sometimes they say you got to circle around a couple of times, but they are there controlling all of the situations. That's why air traffic control jobs are so stressful, because so many moving pieces. So what questions do you have? We're going to go into the working memory, into the inhibition control, into cognitive flexibility. But do you now understand how you navigate your day happens in the executive function? So if you say, I had a bad day, Amy and Lala ensure that you had a bad day because you let them ruin the day and keep the day on a fucked up trajectory. That's technical terms right there. However, when your prefrontal cortex is in control, now, no matter what happens, cognitive flexibility is there to say, hold up, let's regroup. Let's take this 10 significant seconds of silence and see what it is that we need to see and do. That is why it's so important to have emotional regulation. Because if you don't, Amy and Lala are going to make sure that they become regulators, and they're going to mount up and they're going to act a damn fool. And you're going to get to the end of your day and go, I didn't get anything done on my to-do list. If you've ever gotten to the end of your day and say, damn, I didn't accomplish nothing I was supposed to accomplish today, and didn't get any other productive things done, you know who was running the day. You know who was responsible for it. And now you can take complete responsibility for it, put them in timeouts, and say, listen here, little bad little twins, we're not going to let that happen tomorrow. You're going to assess what happened and grow forward. Okay, so everybody is clear. Jared is the only one that said he does not have any questions. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about the prefrontal cortex executive function portion of that? Because now we're going to go into the 3 areas of the executive functions and explain their functions in detail. Well, not in detail, but a simple way of explaining what they do. Nola has a question. Because this has to be clear. And I'm going to keep doing Thinking Thursdays this way just to make sure that everybody understands. Because I say terms, I speak fast, and now you're like, was that? Is it this? Which part is this? And which part is that? So you'll understand it completely, because the expectation is for you to have these conversations with people, and I'm keeping it simple. Is it much more intricate than that? Yes. But when you're trying to teach somebody the ABCs, you don't bring Chaucer into a first grade class and say, read this book. So you got the dentate gyrus. It's kicking my... Okay. Well, we will continue to have conversations about it until it doesn't kick your ass anymore. All right. And now we know why, too, because it's similar. Because the part of it is that you can't distinguish between those similarities. It's just the dentate gyrus is kicking your ass because you don't understand it, and that's the part that's confusing to you. Okay. But now you know. So now we can do something about that. All right. Working memory. That is like your brain's sticky note or whiteboard. The working memory is like your brain's sticky note or whiteboard. And y'all know I got a bunch of sticky notes on my desk. Look how thick that is. Yes. And that's just one stack. They're in different piles for a reason. What did Noah say? Okay, give me 1 second. I have but something the people are bored, because I've had 2 trolls this morning. And so there we go. People are looking for a dopamine fix this morning. Okay. Working memory is your brain's whiteboard. A sticky note is where you hold on to small bits of information just long enough to use them. And so you use your working memory dozens, if not hundreds of times per hour, every hour that you are awake. And so in simple terms, the working memory helps you keep information in your mind for a short time, like a phone number before you dial it. You also use this information to solve problems like doing math in your head, and you follow steps in order like remembering directions while you walk. It doesn't store things forever. That's the job for the long-term memory in the hippocampus. What it does is instead, it's a temporary workspace that lets you think, plan, and act in the moment. So that's why it's Friday. Got it. My family don't like it when I talk about the actual brain, but they are going to get this work. Yes. And you know what, Jared? I'm grateful because you said the other day that you told your daughter, that's your amygdalas, go off and do a brain dump and come back. Here's what you can do. Have a conversation, because what's happening is Amy and Lala are uncomfortable with you now talking to the family about it. Your Amy and Lala were uncomfortable, and now you're dispersing this information to the rest of the family. And so what you all can do is attach it to something fun. So Nola is doing brain dumps now, and she's attaching it to her coloring. And so that anchor that she colored that she put in the chat, that is the direct result of her doing a brain dump and coloring. Brain dump and coloring. So it took her a couple days to finish it because it's called pairing. So what you want to do is for the immediate family, for the people who live in your household. And then if you have people coming to your house all the time, they got to come too. So you can have a dinner, y'all can have game night or whatever. And then you can just explain to them first, we're going to have game night. We're going to have dinner, their favorite meals, whatever they want. Everybody gets their favorite dish. But first, we are going to understand why we are about to shift what we're doing as a family. Because for them, it sounds like you went to church and the pastor said, everybody in the church need to be saved and all your family members need to be. We're going to bind out Jesus in the name. We're going to get Satan out of there. Get rid of them libations and all that liquor and all them loose women wearing red lipstick and stuff. We don't do that around here. We're holy, sanctified, filled with Jesus. That's what it sounds like. But that's not what's actually taking place. So what they hear is, you're trying to take my comfort away. You're trying to take, don't nobody give a fuck. What the fuck? Fuck Dr. Donna. What the fuck? She ain't no real doctor, no way. Yes. She ain't no real doctor, no way. Here you come. What you trying to be, Malcolm Farrakhan? Like, don't nobody want to hear that stuff. Oh, let me see. Let me see. She probably got some tea. What she's selling your Bibles and shit? No, she don't really sell them out there. She don't have no merch. Well, she gonna sell you something. Just give her time. You gonna come home with a cloth or some corn or something that we gotta put on the mantle and burn on the 13th day of the month and lift one leg up. That's what that's what it's gonna sound like. And I understand that because Amy and Lala have been Amy and Lala in. And so you have to explain to them, and it's going to take a minute. It took y'all a minute. Regina, I know you stepped away, but if you're coming back, when I start talking about personal accountability, the principles of real leadership, the conscious stuff gets no play in my ride. My mistake was doing it on football. Oh no, you can't do that on football. You got to do it on Tuesday or Wednesday, Sean. Ain't shit on TV. They ain't got it because the amygdalas definitely want that dopamine boost. You messing with definitely don't do it on Thursday or Sunday. You might even get away with it tonight, but that doggone CFP on Saturday, crickets. Monday Night Football, done. You got Tuesday and Wednesday. That's it. Definitely don't do that because you playing with fire over there. You might get burned. And so what's happening is two things are taking place. You are saying that we as a family need to start using our brain. And so here's what you do. What's in it for me? I learned this process at Frito-Lay with them. What's in it for me? So for you, it sounds like you're taking away all their fun. It sounds like you are taking away everything that matters to Amy and Lala. And so this is what you do. All of your family members have one or more things they can't get done. They've been trying forever to blah, blah, blah. And so you speak to them individually. I'm going to use my child as an example. And so she was disorganized as shit. Do you want to get organized and stay organized? Yes. Well, good, because that's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Let me tell you how to do that. So you're going to solve, their amygdalas are on attack mode, right? Because you said change. But how you appeal to the amygdala is because they want to be able to do something that they can't do. And the amygdala is stopping them. So whatever, somebody wants to learn how to sew, somebody wants to learn how to play a musical instrument, whatever it is, you're going to pick that one thing that you know them better, that they want to know how to do. And you're going to ask them, do you want to learn how to speak Spanish or not? You'll say, what? Do you want to learn how to speak Spanish? Do you want financial literacy? Do you want to leave that doggone spouse of yours? Do you want to actually get a spouse? So you take that main thing that they care about, and then you say, why do you believe you haven't been able to do it? And they're going to look at you and they're going to start with the excuses, because this just happened on TikTok. They're going to give you 1 to 5 excuses, which is a reason wrapped up in an excuse as to why they can't get it done. And none of it is going to be their fault. The last thing they're going to be thinking is they're the reason why they can't get it done. And then you're going to say, okay, so would you like to be able to get that done? And they're going to say, of course. That's why you got to learn how to use your brain. And then they're going to sit there for a minute. And then they might come back with some more excuses. But you just planted the seed, because now you are pairing something that has been eluding them the entire time. Why can't I? And they see other people doing it, but they can't. And you're going to say you don't have a neural pathway to do it. You cannot hablar español. You can't parlez-vous français. You can't sprechen Sie Deutsch. Nicht sehr so gut. You can't, because you don't have the neural pathway. And until you create that neural pathway, it will continue to elude you. Now, would you like to know how to create that neural pathway? It takes about 8 days for it to start. And then in 21 days, you're going to have it. You can even say, hey, you know how you got that bad habit? The person that was on the live 2 days ago was chewing on cornstarch. Would you like to stop that bad habit? I sure would. You want to know why you can't stop the bad habit? Yes, because Amy and Lala won't let you stop, and it's created in the basal ganglia. So now you have to do the what's in it for me. Why am I doing this? Why do I, Dad, I know you need to do it. Bae, I know you need to do it, Sean, but that's you. You've been smarter than us the whole time, because that's the other thing they're going to tell you. And then you're going to say, we all sitting on 86 billion neurons. And if you really want to do some math, go ahead and count the people in your house and say, this is how many billion neurons this family has. Now, we could work together and become bad mofos, or we could just let these neurons die. Use it or lose it. We could be a team, a strong, solid team out here doing big shit, leaving a legacy, or we could be regular like our neighbors. And now you have a with them. What's in it for me? Why should I stop doing what I'm doing? Why should I stop watching football? Why should I stop playing the game? Why should I stop watching reality TV? Because it's stopping you. It's actually stopping you from what you want to do. So if you say you want to save $1 million, okay, cool. How you going to do that? What's your $1 million strategy savings plan? Where you think you're getting at? I do need some stuff in Pixar. My fault. Okay, got it. Roger that. How much you got left in there, Nola? I thought it was time. She's talking about putting graphics in something else. So does that make sense? So now you have a strategy that's not going to make you look crazy. It's not going to make it seem like you didn't join the cult, which I keep being accused of. I don't know, fuck, I keep getting accused of that. When I'm saying use the brain. All right, bet. I can put some in there. So that's what you all can do. So it's not we about to change because y'all signed up to change. Their amygdalas didn't. But you attach it to something that so you say, okay, well, you want to learn how to save $1 million. This is how this is going to happen. And you pair it with some brain thing that they need to do to get a better habit. And so, Sean, you have the no smoking habit. You need to be creating that loop with your spouse. And then the other thing that y'all can do too, and I know because y'all need this, because this is going to be helpful to y'all, is you can have the family sit there and say, and I did this, think of your high school nemesis. And if your children are in high school, say middle school, everybody got a nemesis. And for me, it was Latifah, who got best dressed, who shouldn't. I am Dr. Donna. I'm in the win. Right. So everybody going to think about their nemesis. And then you're going to have everybody got 2 minutes around the table. Take your phone out, set 2 minutes. Talk about that damn nemesis. Motherfucker, how the fuck she beat me at best dressed wearing them damn used jeans outfit, them ugly ass green Gucci sneakers. And I'm going, oh, I'm ham. And everybody in the whole family go around the table. go around the couch if you're sitting on a sectional, you talk about that nemesis and you just keep, you can let them curse. I know the kids might be young, but let them say it. Get that shit out. And then say, what's your favorite pair of shoes and why? Or your favorite dessert, your favorite meal. And then everybody gonna say, well, you know what? I love Big Mama's pound cake. Oh my God, that cake is so good. You give them 2 minutes to talk about their favorite, whatever y'all know your family. And then everybody gonna be sitting there and say, why we do that? Because when you thinking about your nemesis, that is manufactured dopamine, and that's emotional dysregulation, and there is no solution, and you don't like how that feels. And when you're talking about your favorite thing, that's emotional regulation, and you can do something about that, and that's natural dopamine. So which one would you like to feel every day? Manufactured external anxiety dopamine that you can't do shit with brain fog, or natural dopamine that's just this nice reward circuit that's nice and calm? And you're going to tell everybody in the house, see how loud everybody got? Somebody might stand up like, and I told that motherfucker, and then they're going to be like, dang, Big Mama, I love her pound cake. Man, me, ma, people, that banana pudding was so, and then you just have everybody just sit there and watch, and they're going to be like, and they're going to clutch their brain pearls. What? That's what you feel like when you talking to Dr. Donna? Are you fucking kidding me? You mean y'all ain't getting no Hennessy over there? No, y'all ain't drinking no Sauvignon Blanc, nothing, no Pinot Noir, nothing. You just over there and I did that in my same brain, same reward loop. And when you keep looking for a nemesis, that's what you're going to find every day. Waking up mad, ready to cuss a motherfucker out. Or the feeling that y'all feel inside the chat that you can't explain it. It's just this new euphoric feeling. It's like, dang, we learned about the yield sign. This is a good book, and this is this. That's natural dopamine. And guess what you can do? You stay in your prefrontal cortex, and that's where the magic happens. That's where the thinking, logic, reasoning, and all of that happens. Because you become irrational as shit about that nemesis. Next thing you know, you standing in front of that nemesis about to fight because of Amy and Lala. And you explain it. When the prefrontal cortex is in control, that's what it feels like. And when Amy and Lala are popping off, fight, flight, freeze, or peace, that's what's happening over there. Now, you are all equipped to go forth and be braintastic with your families. That should help you out immensely. Giving them something, what's in it for me, and having them in that moment. And I did that on TikTok, and they were like, oh my God. I'm a sneakerhead. I'm showing them my gold Chuck Taylors. Yes. Now you got it. Now you are equipped. You came in lows, and now you're leaving with tools and a strategy to build what you need to build. You're going to build a stronger nucleus, real family, for real, for real. That's what's going to take place. And if anybody got time today, Nola and I are going to be live at 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can say, look, they work together all day, live together, and this is what they've created. That's why this shit works. My pleasure. So that's what you need to be doing. Because if you just tell them, they got to feel it. They got to feel it. And they got to go with something they hate, and something they love. That's their favorite. That's why when you're typing your favorite book, your favorite quote, that's what I'm doing for you. You got this natural release. And you're like, oh my goodness, that's I love that quote. I'm going to go have a conversation about that quote. That's what we are creating on Instagram and now TikTok as well. Because people subscribed on there. I didn't realize that. But anyway, this behind the scenes. Doesn't matter. So that's what you need to be doing. That's how it's going to work. Just at any time you're having a conversation with somebody with something you hate. And I mean, get them teeth, gritting, fist, getting ready hours, and then say, okay, what's your favorite dessert? What's your favorite thing to do? What's your top hobby? And they are automatically going to switch unbeknownst to them because it's cognitive dissonance. They don't even know that it's taking place in the same doggone brain. And then now they feel the difference. The insula is notifying them, we hate that, we love that. And then you can have that conversations with them. Okay? All right. So that's what the working memories job is. It is the whiteboard, is the Post-its, and it's there for you to use short term and then navigate. That's why you're using it multiple dozens, if not hundreds of times an hour, because if you're cooking, what's my recipe for my red velvet cake? If you're putting something together, if you wash the dishes, do the laundry, when you do laundry, you put it in there, but then you come back, now you make up the bed, you do all of that. I needed the pairing strategy. There you go. I told y'all, if you don't know, ask. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And if you really have the naysayers, just go to the website, go to the 74 principles of real leadership and read them. and just read them and say, would a cult leader make these? Have fun, take naps, relax, visualize your goals. There's nothing cult-esque about it. Eliminate the clutter, eliminate distractions. If you don't know, ask. Be technically competent. Set and maintain high standards. Be the best. Take risks. Challenge yourself. Grow continually. Failure is not an option. And all embrace change. Embrace diversity. When you start looking at it objectively, remember, Amy and Lala don't want you to change. And so anything that disrupts what they want and their comfort, people are going to say it got to be something wrong with it. If it sounds sexy and appealing to them, they're on board because it's immediate. But if you start saying in the future, 8 days from now, 30 days from now, 60 days from now, they're like, yeah, it's something to it. Nah. It's got to be a catch to it. She up to something. I'm not. And I'm not DJ Khaled, so I'm not up to something. Okay, the next is the cognitive flexibility. So cognitive flexibility is your brain's ability to switch gears. Yes, and my pleasure if I didn't say that. Okay. It's in simple terms, it helps you change your thinking when the situation changes. So you change your thinking when the situation changes. Change is hard with Amy and Lala in control. Right. And that's why it's so important for everybody to download a breathing app so you can create emotional regulation. That's why I start every live with breathing. And that is why you're on the subscription, because you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex. And if your brain feels different, you can't really put your finger on it, but that's why you keep coming back asking the questions, because you are strengthening every other region and you're regulating Amy and Lala. And so they are there and they're like, well, I didn't know that about the yield sign. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know about that, about the paper milling company either. Oh, what is that book? Oh, is that what you can have financial literacy? Oh, yeah. And well, yeah, well, why do I go to bed at the same time I go to bed? Why is that happening? Yes, Patricia, we are talking about the brain. So as you can see, it's brain behind me. Amy and Lala are the amygdalas, the amygdala. You have a left and right amygdala located in the limbic system inside of the temporal lobe, and they are responsible for identifying threats. But when you have emotional dysregulation, they are responsible for making sure that you stay stuck in a comfort zone, because they are always identifying a threat, so you can always stay comfortable and stuck. I call them Amy and Lala so it's easier to remember, because they are fraternal twins, because they have two different functions. So the right amygdala notifies you of short things and says, oh my goodness, this is a problem. The left amygdala analyzes it and in theory sends that notification to the prefrontal cortex. But because we are hardwired for negativity bias, Amy and Lala are always looking for a fight. Always. Okay, so cognitive flexibility helps you change your thinking, and it looks at it from different angles. So you're looking at a situation. Sometimes when we're putting something together, we got to look at it differently. When I am assessing at the end of my day what took place, I will make adjustments based upon what happened on the lives, what happened in the chat, what new information that I have. So I'm constantly updating my brain algorithm. And so it adjusts plans when something doesn't go as expected. I assumed everybody was going to Instagram subscribe. I just found out yesterday there are 3 subscribers over on TikTok, and I had to notify them and say, okay, TikTok didn't even notify me that they were over there. That's another issue for another day. So anyway, or not for you, but for me. So now I'm adjusting my strategies. And then it shifts between tasks without getting stuck. So it's no multitasking, but it's shifting between tasks. If you are cooking dinner and washing clothes at the same time, then you're doing that. Sometimes what I do is if I need to read, I will cook something on the stove, sit at the island in the kitchen, read, and stir. And that's what my cognitive flexibility is allowing me to be able to do that. So you can think of it as your brain's mental steering wheel. It lets you turn in a new direction instead of being locked in on one road. So what's happening with people with fixed mindsets is they have no cognitive flexibility. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and work at the plant for 30 years. I'm going to retire, and 10 years later, I'm going to die. So you try to do anything else with them, they are cognitively inflexible. So they're not using their executive function. They're not using cognitive flexibility. They are stuck in a fixed mindset with Amy and Lala saying, no, we like it just like it is. We're not changing nothing. Get out of here. We're not going to be flexible. But be flexible is one of the 74 principles of real leadership as well. At the time, I didn't know about cognitive flexibility in 2008, but I knew people needed to be flexible if they were going to change, embrace change. So it's, yes, and it keeps you on track towards your goal. So is that, No, and that's inhibition control. So what questions do you have about cognitive flexibility? Anytime you change your mind. And so I have said before, you have the right to turn a previous yes into a current no, or a previous no into a current yes when you get new information. Be objective is one of the 74 principles of real leadership as well. And so when you base all of your decisions based upon facts and not emotions, you will be able to be cognitively flexible. When you base all your decisions on emotions instead of facts, you will always be fixed mindset and you will not be flexible, because your emotions are what you're holding on to for those decisions. And you always find yourself in these precarious situations as a result of that. So if cognitive flexibility is clear, I will move on to inhibition control. Yes, I say you stuck in a rut and you can't get your big ass up. And it doesn't matter if you're my size. So stuck in a rut, basically. Yes, that's what it means. And it's because of Amy and Lala seeking comfort and safety, even to your own detriment. All right. And so the last part of the executive function of the brain is inhibition control. And that is your brain's brake pedal. That is your brain's brake pedal. And so in simple terms, you pause before acting so you don't do something you'll regret. You pause before acting. That's what that 10 significant seconds of silence is for. You are doing that to ensure that there is no cortisol released in the limbic system coming up to the prefrontal cortex. No cortisol. I'm just going to sit here and count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. And you are allowing that to calm Amy and Lala down so that the prefrontal cortex can notify the inhibition control, respond, do not react. Respond, do not react. And you all have seen me do this when trolls come on the lives and I stop and pause. Number one, I'm assessing, am I going to get rid of the person? What did they say? Am I about to drag their asses and then get rid of them? Am I about to use them as an example and attempt to allow them to understand why they're doing what they're doing? That's what I'm doing when I pause. I'm accessing my inhibition control. Next, it controls impulses, like not blurting out an answer or grabbing your phone when you should be working. It's saying stop doing those things. Stay focused on what you need to do. And stay focused is the next thing. So you stay focused by ignoring distractions. So stay focused is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and eliminate distractions is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And then it allows you to make better choices by thinking before reacting. I have said this many times. Don't do anything without a strategy. Don't even walk in the kitchen for a snack without a strategy. Because when you have a strategy, now if something does go left, you can use your cognitive flexibility to say, okay, what part of my strategy is not working right now? And that's how you can actually respond versus react and make adjustments in your working memory. You can't do that if you don't have a strategy. If you have, and this is a very technical term, if you have what I like to call a dumbass plan, then you don't know what happened. You can't have cognitive flexibility because you had a dumbass plan that you and Amy and Lala decided to do. And so it doesn't have any logic or reasoning or anything. And now you're just sitting there like, what the fuck happened? So then you start blaming other people when you didn't do your due diligence to actually have a real strategy to now go and say, okay, here's what I'm getting ready to do. It went left, but now how far left did it go? And even if that whole strategy doesn't work, you say, okay, none of that worked. Now I know that doesn't work. Let me get a better strategy. Build a better mousetrap, as they used to say back in the day. So it's what lets you stop and think, then act, instead of just reacting automatically. So you can think of it as the brain's self-control system that keeps you on track towards your goal. Too much freestyling. Exactly. Too much freestyling. And I told y'all this. People have accused me, you ain't never spontaneous. You always over there planning shit. Yeah. As soon as something go wrong in your life, who you always calling? The person that's always planning shit. The most strategic person that you know. Because your ass executed a dumbass plan, and now you want my smart ass strategies to help you out of your dumbass plan. No. Figure that shit out. Be spontaneous with your solution for your shit show of an existence. Spontaneously. Combust. Dumbass. So you want to be over here not planning, take it to, ain't nobody got time for all that. Apparently you do. Apparently you need, now it's going to take you more time to recover from that situation than if you had just thought about it ahead of time. Right. That's what's happening. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on keeping on and keep on planning. And it has driven people crazy, to include my own offspring. But I'm not gonna be sitting somewhere not knowing who's gonna be there. I'm Googling shit and everything else. I'm looking at photos, interests, and everything. See, that's that army shit. Some of it is, but some of it is just brain shit. Yeah, spontaneously losing. And now you want to come up, oh, now you want to use my doggone strategic ass brain to get you out. Cause see, then, and you ain't gonna believe it. And then they showed up with the really now. And you would have thought that somehow y'all would have knew that was gonna happen. No, because I started writing on the wall. Remember, I tried to tell you, I know you tried to tell me, I know, but let's just get past that. No. We're gonna hear that now. Because now you want me to help you out of the thing that I told you don't get into. So we gonna get into why you didn't listen to me. And now that I know it's Amy and Lala, people can't say shit. Can't say nothing at all. So now we have done the overview of most of the brain regions that we talk about. Again, I will do a better job of when I mention them, slowing down and say, this is that part of the brain. Yes, this is that part of the brain that you are using. But now, holy help anybody. I mean, it was better when I didn't know all the brain regions. I'm still learning, but the ones that I do know, because now you could you can say, well, it was because I was raised by the such and such. Like, no. It's Amy and Lala. It is the Omen twins. They are dysregulated. So now let's see how you let them talk you into this situation. Now that you know why you did that, that's why you got to assess what your Amy and Lala want you to do, where they want you to be comfortable at. Not my responsibility anymore. I'm telling you about them. Now it's your responsibility to go get them in check. And then you can do everything else that I'm saying. So Dr. Donna's perspective about the importance of knowing how your brain functions. Why are we here at Morning Mental Workout? And why am I saying my brain is 95% song lyrics, wear my brain t-shirts and everything else? It's because when you know how your brain functions, you know how you function. Say what, Doc? When you know how your brain functions, you know how you function. Y'all see that up there? Y'all might want to write that down. You might want to tell your family members. Go ahead and write that down. When you know how or take a screenshot. I'll move out the way. Because I can't flip it because it's YouTube. So when you know how your brain functions, you know how you function. Y'all should feel good right now. That's penicillin right there, baby. That's E equals MC squared on everything. You said what? When I know how my brain functions, then I know how I function or don't function. Now you know it is. And it's not you, it's your brain. It's your brain. And now nobody else can have an excuse. My daughter has mental illnesses, so that's not even an excuse anymore. The question is, do you want to regulate Amy and Lala so you could be a bad mofo or not? Can somebody type just to make sure that the chat is enabled or able so that I don't have to go into my tablet to look at YouTube? So y'all got that? When you know how your brain functions, you know how you function. Type, thank you. Yes. So how y'all feel about that? When you know how your brain functions, you know how you function. It should be refreshing. Now you know it's your brain. Now you know you can do something about it because you take your brain with you wherever you go. It's not the Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain. No. Clear. 100% true. So understanding your brain's functions gives you the manual for your own mind. For your own mind. Realer than real deal Holyfield. Okay. It explains why you think, you feel, and you act the way you do. You said what now, Doc? Yeah. So it's the manual for your own mind to explain why you feel, you think, and you act the way you do. It helps you build self-awareness so you can make intentional choices instead of running on autopilot. When you have a hijacked amygdala and emotional dysregulation, you are running on autopilot. And that's what you're experiencing with your family and friends. And you're like, oh, so y'all just want to be comfortable, huh? Well, I'm going to make it extremely comfortable for you. Discomfort. That's what we're focusing on for the rest of our lives. Not just in 2025, for the rest of our lives. We are going to be in extreme discomfort, but we are going to have emotional regulations up and through here. Noah has had that conversation multiple times. I tell you what you going to do. You about to get in these doggone challenges. I tell you what you going to do. You about to have your ass on these lives. That's what you're going to become a real leader, or we're going to become separate and not equal. Okay. So it strengthens your personal accountability. You can no longer say, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. That is just me. And that is just how I am. Because you understand the wiring behind your habits, your decisions, and your emotions. So no more, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's just, I was just born this way. No, not some things. Some things came with you biologically, but neurologically, all that shit can change. And it also unlocks your leadership capacity, because when you know how to manage your own brain, you can better guide, empower, and influence others. That's why Empower Others is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And most importantly, it gives you the power to retrain, redirect, and reframe your brain so you can keep growing rather than staying stuck. Taking risks, challenging yourself, and grow continually are the ways that you ensure every single day that you are growing your prefrontal cortex, growing your hippocampus, and everything else, so that your working memory could be working on a bunch of big, better, badder, bolder shit. When I was in high school, my working memory was just trying to graduate with honors and get out of there. And now my working memory is overemployed. This motherfucker is all overcharged. It got so much that it's working on a daily basis. And you couldn't have told me when I graduated from high school in 1991 that this is where I would be, because I thought everybody else was smarter than me, and that was as smart as I was going to be able to be. So that's that. So what questions do you have about what I just said? Facts. Age has no key to learning. None whatsoever. And neither does IQ, because Nola has a higher IQ than me. And I've said this before. Okay. So talk about the basal ganglia, and we're going to go ahead and do the brain bit and get out of here. So the basal ganglia, and it's actually a lot more to it, but I'm not going to bore you all with that information. We're just going to go with this for simple terms. The basal ganglia are like the brain's movements managers and habit helper. And so in simple terms, because it's a bunch of them, it's just not one, it's 5 of them, but we're just going to stay with this. So it's the start of control movement so smoothly, so you don't move too slow or you don't move too fast. That's part of what the basal ganglia does. It builds habits by repeating actions until they become automatic. And that's the part that we talk about often, is that part. Next, it filters actions. So it decides which movements or behavior go with which. So if you have the habit, this is how you brush your teeth, it's deciding that this is how you brush your teeth. And I'm not using my washing the dishes strategy to brush my teeth. So it's pairing the right movements with the right habits. And then it also connects your empowerment to action. So it helps you to actually do what you intend to do. So if you actually intend to do a bad habit, it's going to help you do that bad habit. If you actually intend to do a good habit, it's going to help you do that good habit. So you can think of the basal ganglia as the gear shifter. They help you shift into action, keep your habits running, and make your movements flow. So they're responsible for having the habit, the movement that goes along with the habit, and the action to take you to actually ensure that you do that actual habit. So what questions do you have about the basal ganglia or the executive functions or the dentate gyrus? And if you are clear, I'm going to move out the way once again so you can see the brain as a parking lot. Okay. All right. So the brain bit, the brain as a parking lot. Metaphorically, your brain is like a parking lot. Every thought, memory, and idea is a car trying to find space. I'm going to say that again. Every thought, memory, and idea is a car trying to find space. And when the lot is organized and managed, cars park smoothly, and you can easily retrieve the one that you need. But when the lot is overcrowded, poorly marked, or full of traffic jams, your thoughts get stuck circling, searching for a spot, and sometimes end up double parked. So the takeaway is this: managing your brain's parking lot means creating mental order, clearing out old cars, which are unhelpful thoughts, reserving spaces for priorities, and keeping enough open spots for new ideas to pull in. I thought that was a great idea. And the reason why we have this brain bit, or yes, this brain bit today, is because the second client that we have, they were on the 4th floor of a high rise, and it was a parking lot right on the other side of their patio. And I was standing there looking up at the building, and I was like, I need a brain bit. I need a brain bit, because we had 3 appointments yesterday. Didn't get home till almost 8 o'clock. That was the time that I had to prepare. And I said, I'm going to just do parking lot. So I think that's cool. So when you have an organized parking lot, everything goes well. When you got double parked and all of that, that's your brain. You don't have space. It's not clear. And so you want to manage your parking lot, which means you want to get rid of unhelpful thoughts, purge them, prune them. Don't let Amy and Lala keep that garbage in your brain. And then you want to reserve spaces for priorities, keeping enough open spaces for new ideas to pull in. And that's what you do with Dentate Gyrus, is you got those new ideas coming in so that you can continue to have your working memory working. Because if I still had the brain that I had 15 years ago when I left Frito-Lay, I wouldn't be sitting here with a brain t-shirt on talking to you. I would be talking about supply chain and food and beverage and some dumb shit like that. So the 3 questions that I have for you today are: what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation yesterday? And as a friendly reminder, type your ellipse, your brain, your thinking, your showing you like your quote bubble, whatever it is, so that I know that you are still here and that you are getting ready to answer the questions. Empty. All right. What did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation? Again, type the ellipse, something that I know, and I'm in here checking to see. Okay, I see your thumb, Nola. Got it. Dun, dun, dun. Now I should be drinking my coffee. It should be. Comment bubble is what it is. Jessica, what I learned today was the parking lot, and I'm very good at noticing change, and that explains so much. Good morning, Quita, who was supposed to send me that information and subscribe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. I was using you as examples, Quita, for the last 3 days. Your carb example. No, Quita, you did not subscribe to Instagram. And now I got to think about what information it was. I know you had your carb thing, your HR. You said job is going well. Did you have a child that's in therapy? So it was 4 people that were sending me messages on that live. I do remember the carbs. I do remember HR. You did not subscribe on Instagram. You have to go to Instagram and hit the subscription button. Jerry, I learned today that the basal ganglia is responsible for habit forming. Also use the pairing technique to get people to recognize how the brain functions. Yes, and the therapist was charging you $155 an hour, I think, and I was supposed to give you questions to ask the therapist for your son. You all had 1 session. Jessica. Then I also had a great conversation with a different chat about sewing and the different regions, and the presenter for the chat was asking questions like you do, and it was excellent. Also, that's great. And yes, to get people to recognize how the brain functions. Yeah, it's slow and steady. Jared, because once you learn it, you want everybody else to learn it. But that Amy and Lala doggone dysregulation, that shit is it's not empowering. I tell you that much. I'm not like, yes, let me go and get all these amygdalas in line. And everybody's is different. So it's progress, not perfection. And the pairing is the best way to get them to and attach it to something that they want to be able to do for them to understand it. And that's why every day I experiment on the lives and with content. Yes, planning keeps Amy and Lala in check because they want to be regulated. The children actually want discipline, but they don't want to be disciplined. It's cognitive dissonance. But when you regulate them, they're cool. They just don't want threats and they want safety. But strategies are another way so that they're not like, what the heck just happened? So when you have a strategy, they're calm too. Sean, I have learned that using the natural PFC will better for yourself and executive function. I've learned about myself and pick another day with family while eating and talking about brain bits, Tuesday or Wednesday. But they have to do the brain bits first because what will happen is after they eat, everybody be ready to leave. And you can also call it, damn it, thorns and something. I forgot the name of the process. Some people say one positive, one negative, but you just want them to say, let's start preparing for 2026 now, the new year. Here is what I'm learning, and here's why it's value added for us. So, and then what I'm finding too, notice that I learned about myself. I need to learn the Dentate Gyrus. Yes. What I'm finding too inside of the chat is that part of what's intimidating for people inside the chat is because it's reminding people of school. And that's because I'm an educator. And so people are wanting to not type because of spelling problems. I can't spell. Typos. I got typos in my damn book on purpose. And so, as Nola said, you get to learn as an adult, you get to, as a child, and then you become an adult and eating conversations. Okay, you can experiment either way, Sean. Do it with a smaller group first before y'all have extra guests. Because once you get the family to buy in, the immediate family, then you can get everybody else's buy-in as well because they don't want to be left out at that point. And so what's happening is that you have to go back to school. And all what I'm bringing up is all of those things that Amy and Lala protected you from and kept you comfortable. And now you can't be comfortable anymore. So you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go in the chat today. Damn, she just messaged me and told me I got to go look at the stories. Yes, because all of those things that you ignored are stopping you from becoming extraordinary. Nola had to go back and do math for Khan Academy in order for her to be able to mount all these different things. She learned it, forgot it, and then go back to it. And now you got to understand conversion, standard to metric, centimeters, inches, feet, all these other different things that you wouldn't, if she didn't become an assembler, she would have never had to use those things. But use it or lose it, and she lost it, and then she had to go back and get it again. So I learned that, again, rewiring the parts of the brain is making sure everyone is clear foundationally to build on. That is correct. And so 2 things are happening in the chat. Number 1, it's the whole school concept. It's all this school because the teacher made you feel stupid or you failed a class and all that. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And then also, you got to focus on you over here. I'm going to say that again. You got to focus solely on you. And then what Amy and Lala's dysregulation has done is it has made it acceptable for people to not have to focus on themselves. It's the left, it's the right, it's the middle, it's the side, it's the libs, it's the Dems, it's the patriarch and the matriarch and capitalism and everything else. That's uncomfortable because it's almost like it's a mirror. So every day, multiple times a day, you got to go look in the mirror. You got to go look in the mirror and you find out it's you and your brain. And that's why all your life is the way it is. And that's a hard pill to swallow while everybody else is not looking at themselves. But we don't care about them. I told them on a TikTok live today, I said, y'all listeners, likers, and lookers. I'm looking for learners. People who want to learn how their brain functions. I don't care about the lookers, the likers, and the listeners because y'all ain't going to do shit. Y'all ain't going to change. Oh, I like, hearts, subscribe. Yes, once I got to 10,000, okay, cool. But y'all not learning. And if you're not learning, that means that you're not using your brain and you're not changing and you still have emotional dysregulation. So I really don't care. I love you. One young lady got on there today and said, you know what? Every time your live pops up, it shows me that I'm not supposed to be on TikTok. I said, your ass supposed to be on Instagram and a subscription. That's where you're supposed to be. It's reminding you that you're supposed to be over there. And then I said, but you can subscribe on TikTok now too. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Noah said, my conversation about my brain was about changing my algorithms on social media. It has helped me bring more emotional regulation with calmer content. That is correct as well. So you are here for you. You are here for you. I learned that in Al-Anon. One of the best sentences I've ever heard in my life. I am here for me. I'm here for myself. And that's it. Sean, if you could stop doing stuff in Instagram right now, because it's showing up on my phone and I'm trying to say this, so it keeps popping up. I keep saying it, so you can just hold on for a minute so I can close the live out, then you can go back to doing what you're doing. Y'all can't hear it because my phone is always on silence, but it's dropping down. It keeps dropping down, so I'm looking and it's popping up. Thank you, ma'am. So my point is this: you are here for you, and everything that you do is for you and your brain. And if it makes you discomforted, that's how you know it's working. If you still feel comfortable over here and in Instagram subscriptions or TikTok subscriptions with the content, that means that you still have emotional dysregulation. If you feel like, man, I don't want to come over there because damn, I got to think. Somebody's like, ooh, I didn't have time. How you didn't have time for you? How you didn't have time for you? And so you want us over, like you want us there in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening. Just come if you want your brain to be regulated. It is going to be cognitive overload. That's the whole point. Your brain hasn't been used in the way that it was designed to be used. And so Amy and Lala are mad because it's discomfort. But every time you actually come over there and every time you respond, you look at what somebody else says, you answer a question, you think about this, you do a prompt, you hear, you feel regulated. And then you go back out and be dysregulated. And then you come back. Yes. And so the twins are the ones telling you don't go back over there. Why? Because now they know you're strengthening your prefrontal cortex. That's why I put that picture in there for y'all. Go back and look at them. That's what they are saying. Don't go over there. You tired. You had a long day. The last thing you need to be doing. No, that's the first thing that you need to be doing is strengthening your brain. The first thing you need is cognitive overload, because that's what's going to help you become a bad mofo. They want you stuck right where you are in your comfort zone because that's what works for them. That feels like, yeah, got it, Sean. So that feels like a threat, but it's not. I'm not a threat. I can be, but I'm not in this instance. This is about growth. This is about having a brain that you have. My purpose is for you to understand that everything you have or don't have is the direct result of you not knowing how your brain functions and use that functionality to become a bad motherfucker. Because the world, everybody else has hijacked the amygdala, got you thinking you stupid, you dumb, it's because you're bold, you're black, you're ugly, and none of that shit is true. They want to chill out. They want to chill out because of safety, but you're not safe because you don't feel safe. You ever been sitting in a meeting and you don't have the technical competence to ask a question or answer a question, so you sit there and you're quiet? You ever look at something and say, damn, I wish I could, but I can't? And it is not because you can. It's because Amy and Lala said, no, we good. We good. You good right here. We good. Go just sit outside. You got a nice house. You got a nice car. Why are you trying to disrupt this? Because this shit is stuck in a rut. It's boring as shit. And your brain actually wants more. And when you have a strategy, you can go get it. It's the dumbass plans that Amy and Lala want to keep reminding you about. But you got 86 billion neurons. So that ain't even a reality no more. That's not what's taking place for you. So I'm saying, get your ass in the chat. Go watch the damn stories. They're there for a reason. I'm putting them stories there on purpose because something is going to resonate with you. Something is going to tap through Amy and Lala. You go like, ooh, that hit me. Damn, that's what I needed to hear today. Ooh, my goodness. Yup, and this. And so it's this whole brain experience all day long, and you're tired. I just did that in the morning. Damn. Excuse me. She wants us to come back in the afternoon. Do you want to come back in the afternoon? Do you want your brain to function at a high level? Do you? Or do you want to sit with the rest of the people, the stuff believes in the stands, watching football forever? Which one you want? Because people say they want it. And then I say, this is what it's going to take to go get it. Well, no, I didn't want all of that. I was talking about, I just want a little bit. I just wanted to taste a little bit of it. Then get the fuck on. That's why I'm like, don't be looking, liking, and listening. Fuck that. I'm not cut from that cloth. I'm saying do what I'm saying do. You say you wanted an opportunity to be badass. I don't just show up by coincidence. There are no coincidences. Rule number 38, NCIS, Gibbs. There are no coincidences. If you're seeing me, you asked the higher power for a better way. Here I go. And it didn't come packaged like you want. It didn't come. Well, no, see, because what I was thinking was it's coming from me. That's where it's coming from. I'm the one with the ability to tell you how your brain functions, how you can use it to become extraordinary. What's stopping you from becoming extraordinary is your responsibility to do what I am saying do. You have to do it. I can't get on your phone and where you are and tell you to get your ass in the chat. I can message you and say, get your ass in the chat and watch these damn videos. Yes. Yes, Jessica. Exactly. So that's the whole point. Is that you asked for something different. You asked for change, and now you don't like how change came packaged. We don't always get it how we think we're going to get it. That's not what's happening. So if I got to send you a message and say you haven't been in the chat today, know that the clock is ticking. Because what else ain't going to happen, which is why a person isn't here anymore, is this a privilege? I'm looking for 3,000 actual people who want to actually be bad motherfuckers. So you could wake up and not have access to your subscription just because it's $9.99. I told y'all I put that price there for me. So I ain't got to bat an eye. You're not doing the fucking work, go away. That's how I see that. 3,000 real people doing real work. Not 3,000 people paying $9.99 a month. That's not what it's about. That's not it at all. That's why it's so cheap. So I can't think, go on. It's a privilege to be over here and an honor. And you need to understand that. Work, we call it sweat equity when I was at Frito-Lay. So don't just think, oh, I'm going to be there forever. Nope. And if Envy was on here, Envy would tell you, shit, Jared's ass got blocked when it was free. Over a comment over LeBron James. I don't give a fuck. I have worked too hard and too long, and I'm continuing to do that. And I'm not about to be over here like, it's okay. You could not use your brain. You could. You could not use your brain back in Loserville. It's okay because I need, The right, Marines used to have the slogan, we're looking for a few good men. I'm looking for a few good brains. That's what this is about. Because I am working behind the scenes diligently to see, does this work? Okay. Does this not work? Okay, cool. What about this? What about this? So your role in this is to do what I'm saying do. And then you get the benefit of having this neurological clarity. No more neurotoxicity. You was out of here. You sure was. And what happened? You got on TikTok and I said, are you the Jared that was talking about why you don't have access on YouTube no more? And you had to tell the group why you did not have access. And I told you and explained to you what was happening. And then I gave you access back. Same thing happened to Envy. Envy said, I'm good. Envy came back on TikTok. It's better than laying on the couch for $275. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Sean, because I told somebody on TikTok today that is $9.99. And that person said dollars or hundreds. I said, what? Dollars or I said, people out here charging y'all $999 American dollars? For what? $999. I was shocked. Dollars. It's a green drink at Whole Foods. It's a carton of eggs. Organic brown egg. That's what hundreds. But I couldn't. I'm like, how the fuck you fix your mouth to say $999 for that bullshit, yo? I'm letting it go. I'm pulling out Teddy Pendergrass. I'm gonna let it go. So yeah, don't think for 1 second that your spot is secure. That's not how this works. Stop doing the work and you can go. You can take your $9.99 and shove it up your fourth point of contact. That's what you can do. Do the damn work or be gone. Somebody will take your spot because at some point people are going. It's going to be, this is the number. I'm seeing if 3,000 is the number and that's it. Now you got to wait for somebody to drop out. That's how you better hold on to your spot because somebody else was here that ain't here. because they thought they thought they had a secure spot and they don't. No one, Nola knows. If my own offspring ain't safe, y'all, nobody is safe. So do the work. Do the work. This is on purpose. I need to see. I was going to stay in the shadows. That's what you was going to do, Jared. And that's what people think. I'm gonna just be over here listening. But if you don't do the damn, you can come on YouTube and listen. It's not gonna work because the magic is happening behind the scenes. So you can listen all you want and say, I'm gonna do it. It's not until I'm there watching, and because what I'm doing is assessing the words that you're using, and then I'm gonna use that to put a different piece of content out there. I'm assessing. I might just heart your thing, and you like, Dr. Donna didn't say nothing to me. Dr. Donna read it, and what you said, you're gonna see some content to match what you said later on in the future. Sometimes I respond and sometimes I don't, but that heart lets you know I read every damn thing you said. Everything that you said. So that's what this is about, okay? This is not about, so I could go live somewhere and be like, yeah, I got 50,000 subscriptions. I don't give a fuck about that. If only three people listening, I got 3 subscriptions. It don't matter. It don't fucking matter. The number that matters is the sweat equity. The number that matters is everybody in there doing the work every day, because as an educator, that shows me that you're learning and you're applying it. It's everything. It's the business, and it's neuro clear. I'm working on that, but it's no neurotoxicity over there, and it never will be, ever, never, ever. You got to go to a place where it's clear. It's toxic free. You take your mask off and just breathe, and just have good air, good neuro air. That's what's taking place. So feel honored and privileged that I'm saying, yes, you could be a bad motherfucker too. Do the work. Do the work. And I understand it's hard. I understand Amy and Lala acting like a motherfucking fool every damn day, stopping you from being extraordinary. But you got to do the doggone work to figure out what the fuck is wrong with them too and regulate them. If there is no emotional regulation, you got to go, because somebody else could take that spot and do a better job if you're not going to do the work. So nothing is guaranteed. I'm good. I've been around 2 years. Okay, cool. I had a friend for 10 years. She ain't got my damn phone number no more because her ass wouldn't change. What I care about is growth and development. And I ain't going to let nobody stop me. Nobody's stuck ass energy is welcome over here. Work on your shit. I had somebody, I told y'all, she had a yes and no challenge. It took her 120 days. And she just like, Dr. Donna, don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. Please let me finish this challenge. I got to do this. And if she finally finished at 120 days, it took her 120 days to get to 30 consecutive days of holding herself accountable to say yes and no. So I believe in people. But if you sit here like a lazy bumbleclot and you think that $9.99 is going to change any motherfucking thing about life, you crazy as hell. And I don't give a fuck. I just said no to celebrities. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to do the work. Fuck you. I'm a Grammy. I don't give a fuck how many Grammys you got. Fuck you. You ain't about to do the work. No. Sure did. I don't care about, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Yes, and they're going to continue to do that. But the fact that you're being honest right now and Jared is saying it is showing progress. I am not saying everybody need to hurry up and run through this. You don't even know what you buried. You don't even know what Amy and Lala and protected you from or stopped you from getting to. That's why you have to be there every day, because something is going to click one day. Y'all on the live today been trying to tell your family, and now you left with a strategy. And today we was talking about brain functions. That's why you need to be there every day, because you're going to find something out. Regina found out about Lord of the Flies. And then Lorenzo, I was about to say Papa Lorenzo was over there talking about the fish, the animal that he would be, then envied and turned it into something else, and then went all into this intellectually sound thing that was just refreshing to read on social media. So get your ass in the chat. Watch every story. I'm putting that there while I'm doing all kind of other stuff too. And it's all this information. You're like, well, no, I was in there in the morning and I'm going to take, no, the fuck you not. Get in there in the morning and don't show up at night. You're going to have a message waiting on you, and the clock will be ticking because you're choosing. And I'm going to say, so Amy and Lala won yesterday, huh? Now you got to answer for why you chose comfort over discomfort over learning, because that's personal accountability for all that you do and all that you fail to do. What happened yesterday that Amy and Lala convinced you not to close your night out with the night closeout things in the chat? What happened? What did you do? And you got to be responsible for it. Ain't nobody ever held you this personally accountable in your life to be your best. Not just all right, not just regular, but a bad motherfucker. That's a different standard of excellence. Set and maintain high standards is one of the 74 principles of real leadership on purpose. Be the best. You are not at your best if Amy and Lala talked you out of being a bad mofo. That's not your best. That's your worst. Don't do that to yourself. You are born to be extraordinary. Do not let ordinary brain tissue stop you from doing something life-altering for other people. Of course they're raging because you're making them do things that do their fucking job instead of not. Stop letting Carl, nice security guard, run the company during the day. That ain't Carl's job. Carl's job is to alert, the amygdalas alert you of threats. One looks at it, the other one processes it, and sends an alert to the doggone prefrontal cortex. That's it. That's it. All this other fight or flight. When the last time y'all seen a saber-toothed tiger? For real, for real. When somebody actually was chasing after you? When were you actually, the last time you were actually physically in harm's way? You are not doing it correctly, Regina, and I'm going to walk you through it because we have a late start. They are around my profile picture. It's a ring, a color ring around my profile picture. And now you click on that and it's going to take you to a whole bunch of stories at the top. It's on my profile. If you go to Instagram, around my profile photo, it's going to either be a purple ring, that's for subscribers, or a colored ring. And every time you go in there, look at that. If it's clear, you're caught up. If it's a ring around it, then you haven't seen everything in the stories. I was putting stuff in the feed. Instagram messed up reels and all that. That's too complicated to do. So you are in the chats and you are in my profile photo in the stories. So go try that, Regina, and then let me know. You can comment. I'll see your face in there and know that you made it to it. You are born to be amazing and extraordinary. Bad motherfuckingness. That's what you specialize in. You talk to somebody you ain't seen in a while. What you working on? Man, I'm gonna become fluent in bad motherfucking. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working on. That's it. And part of the reason too, and I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta get in the shower and eat something because I'm hungry. Because this has been mentally tasking this morning. But part of the reason why people ain't listening to y'all because they think I'm some stuffy fuddy-duddy. Oh my goodness, her name is Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. She's probably got some glasses on and she's got a wig that's kind of stiff and stuff. No, that's not the case. I'm normal. I'm not normal, but I'm regular, everyday, average kind of looking and stuff. And so I'm not hoity-toity. Okay, okay, purple. Okay, I finally set my notifications to pop up for just Instagram. I hate when everything pops up. Got it. So I'm saying, I'm not some well-educated person that lives such a privileged life that I can't be relatable to what the hell is happening on a day-to-day basis. People need to Google me for my damn fucking credentials. Tell them to take their asses to LinkedIn. I got more credentials than most people everybody know. For sure. I got plenty of degrees and everything else. And so my objective is to do my personal legend. I'm sick of dealing with fucking adults with their hijacked ass amygdalas and emotional dysregulation thinking that they cannot change. You can, but you got to do the work. Brain conversation was that I will finish the patio project. All was with the spouse on the next steps. We need to do this. Thank you, Dr. Donna. We did not argue one time. In the name of everybody, that is a freaking miracle. That is a miracle, a miracle, a miracle. Congratulations, Sean. A miracle. Family projects, renovations. You can end up in divorce court behind that. So, in general, in summary, and everything else, ladies and gentlemen, do the damn work because your spot is not secure. Your spot is not secure. Don't do the work and you will find yourself don't have an access. That's how that goes. Don't do the work, don't have access. It's about doing the work. It is not about, oh, I'm here and I'm no warm bodies over here. Remember, I went 4 months without hiring somebody and did the work every single day to get the right people on my team at Frito-Lay. So I have no problem with dirty hands, clean money, dirty hands, clear conscience. Not, you don't do the work, you can go away. This ain't no, yep, I'm a member, I'm a subscriber too. I don't want nobody saying, yep, I'm a stan. This ain't no fan club. This ain't no fucking fan club. This is a work club. This is a mental workout. This is a work club. So you can go ahead and be a fan somewhere else. I'm paying my money, and here you go. Here go your refund, and take your non-brain using ass away. That's what you could do. Kick motherfucking rocks. This is not a fan club. It's not. It's not like I'm in. I got my t-shirt and everything. No, you don't. No, you don't. Nope, 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 nope. Sweat equity. Thank you very much for your time. Nola and I will be back this evening at 5 o'clock p.m. If you'd like your family members to see how a family interacts using real leadership, then hey, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do the damn work. Do the damn work daily. It's in your daily, because Amy and Lala is wrecking shop daily. So you got to do the work daily to regulate them. Otherwise, they're going to regulate you. That's how that's going to happen. So if you get a message from me and you keep getting messages from me, know that the clock is ticking for you, and you may wake up one day and not have access to shit. Yes. So you may not have access to it. And everybody that gets that closeout survey never thinks they're about to get it. I didn't know it was going to be over so quick. I didn't know. I thought I had more time. No. I'm telling you. Closeout surveys happen. They are automatic drafts in my phone, ready to go. And you can fill it out or not, but you're not coming back, because I will have given you time and grace and favor and mercy and grace periods and all kind of stuff. Don't want to do the work, go away. But I like you, Dr. Donna. Like yourself enough to do the damn mental work. How about that? This ain't about if you like me or not. I don't give a fuck. And I know be likable is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. What I value is adult learners learning how to use their brain, applying the 74 principles of real leadership and neuropability, and being a bad motherfucker. If you want to know what matters to me, I don't give a fuck about followers, thousands and millions of dollars and all that shit, because I am planting trees for which shade I will never sit. I need to know that this shit works. And the only way I know it works is when you are applying it. And it's working. Sean did renovations, and her husband did not have an argument. This shit works. It works. That's how I know it's working. That's what's valuable to me. Did it work? Did it work? Is it working? Gave you a strategy? It worked. Y'all go have these dinners with these families with these strategies. It worked. Dr. Donna, this part worked. This part didn't work. Okay, cool. Let's refine that. Regina is working on a strategy right now. Nola got strategies. That's why she a badass in her business. So that's what's important to me. I don't need no motherfucker liking me. I don't do well with sycophants and brown nosers and apple polishers and shit. Ooh, I love you so much. I don't fuck that. Do the work. Do the damn work, okay? You love yourself enough to be a bad motherfucker, okay? Now I got to go for real. You all go off. God willing, higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. Get your ass in the chat, in the stories, and start interacting with each other, okay? You're going to learn from each other just as much as you learn from me. It's a group effort over there. It's a collective, okay? Not a cult, all right? Have a fantastic Friday.